What's happening, people? It's your boy Big Augs, and welcome back to the Voice of the Tune. Today, we're going to talk about transfers, man, because we're 22 days into the new year, 22 days since the market opened, and there's been still no signings made from Newcastle United. So I'm here to talk about that. And there's been talk about transfers, but it's about outgoings, which for me is a surprise. I'm sure we've all heard about Kieran Trippier's interest from Bayern Munich, Callum Wilson's interest from Europe. Atletico Madrid are looking at him, AC Milan now, and also Miguel Almiron's interest from Saudi club Al Shabab. So, there's a lot of stuff going around social media about all of this, and I'm just here to add my 2 pence to it. So, as we know, man, my thoughts on the window in summer, I wasn't too pleased with it. So, I thought this January window was sort of an opportunity now to improve our squad depth, etc. Some more players. But the CEO, I'm not too sure if it was intentional, if he tried to manage the fans' expectations. But Darren Eales, as we know, he made a statement, and he basically said that if you want to spend it in this market, we got to trade players and we got to sell to buy, and that's just the way it goes, and that's just the way it is because of these regulations, isn't it? So, and obviously the club released their annual accounts, and there was a loss there. I believe it was £73 million a loss for the year, and obviously these things don't only cover transfers. There's reasons for that loss. There's as we know that the club has spent money on infrastructure, building around the stadium, building in training grounds, but also what people aren't focusing on is that the revenue has increased from year to year. Ticket sales have gone up. So yes, we've made a loss throughout the financial year, but at the same time, the club is heading in the right direction. So I think for us now it's about trying to comply to financial fair play regulations, and we can see that this is severely limiting us and what we can do, because we've got the richest owners in the world, but it doesn't mean that we're the richest club. So we can only spend what we earn, and that's just the way it is. And our hands are very much tied in this market. And so off the back of the statement made by the CEO, a lot of fans questioned it. I questioned it myself. I thought to myself, is this a way just to get us not to spend money? But it's not, because I know that the club has shown our ambition. We do want to win these titles. We do want to win or get top 4 again. But we can only spend what we can spend. So, and now, for the last couple of days now, over the weekend, it's been a madness. It's been absolutely madness, man. And I've not heard anything in terms of incomings. We were linked with Calvin Phillips, and apparently we're not trying to pay that 5 million or 6 million loan fee that Man City are after. Rightly so, because this is a player who's not played a single game, or has not started a single game in the Premier League this season, and is being mainly off the bench and on the bench. So obviously Man City are trying to just recoup the money that they spent from him in this loan deal. And for us, obviously, we've always had this stance where if it doesn't make sense, to walk away, and it seems like that's what we've done. So we need players in. We can't afford to be losing players, and I've not heard us linked with any other players. There's a few players in Italy that were linked with players from Atalanta, the Dominic Solanke, but again, these players we can't really afford now. So, and obviously we know Eddie Howe is a big fan of him, but I doubt Bournemouth are going to sell their best player in January. So this window is not the same as the summer window, and we're seeing it. All clubs are struggling. There's not been many signings, to be fair, from the top sides. So Man City's not really bought anyone, but they bought youngster. Liverpool hardly anyone. Chelsea hardly anyone. Same for Man United, and Spurs has probably been the busiest side out of the bigger clubs. So we're not the only one not spending, and I saw a stat the other day, and it was talking about the January spend, and for the past 5 seasons it's been around the 200 to 500 mark, or 200 to 300 million mark, apart from last year where Chelsea just spent millions of pounds. So apart from last year, the last 5 or 6 seasons, it's been this way, compared to 5 years before that, where we were seeing record numbers. So we can see that FFP is working. Teams are spending less. Teams are having to look to the youth system. We've seen Liverpool, we've seen Man City. Everyone now has to look within their team and within the squad and the club to bring players through, because gone are the days where now you can just spend X amount of money on players. You got to trade. So it's harder now to make transfers, and that's why I believe we are in this situation that we're in. So I'm not too stressed, in terms of players not coming in, as long as, and this is the big one here, as long as we sell for the right price, then I'm happy. If we're not bringing anybody in because we ain't got the money to, cool. So let's look at who we have within the current squad that we can sell for the right price, and bring in replacements. So I'm hearing. So the first one for me, which was a surprise, was Kieran Trippier. So obviously we know he's been our captain when Lascelles doesn't play. He's been our captain, and for us he's been magnificent. I think Kieran Trippier is one of our best players. He's one of England's best right backs, and I've said previously on here he's the best in the world. Obviously, with that comment, obviously his form has taken that away from him. But it's still the same player. He's still a quality player. He still creates chances. He still creates assists. He still scores goals. It's still a threat in the opposition box. Bear in mind, he's 33 years old. So Bayern Munich made an inquiry for him, as we know. And for me, at the inception, my stance was, you know what? I wouldn't sell Kieran Trippier now, to be fair to you. I think we're not in the position to sell anybody, to be fair, because our squad is thin in itself. But it's just because we don't have anybody else to sell, and the CEO has now come out to say we need to trade to buy. So the other clubs around the world and around Europe are looking at us and thinking, who can we pick from Newcastle? Because they know that we're sort of in need of money to come in, and so they're looking at our players and players of value. So Kieran Trippier, we signed him for 12 million, right? And obviously, and Bayern Munich now, at first they were looking at a loan, and obviously Trippier's open to the move. And to be fair to you, I don't blame him, man, because Bayern Munich are a massive club, they're a huge club. They win the German league every other year or every year for the past 10 years. They sit currently second in the Bundesliga to Bayern Leverkusen, and they're one of the favourite teams to win Champions League. So, for him, if he goes there, I believe he slots right into that team. And for him, it will be a different experience playing for yet another European powerhouse. So I can understand why he'll be open to the move, but from our perspective, does it make sense? Because he's 33 years old. How much can we really get for him? It's not like we're going to get 30 million for him. Do you get me? But we're probably going to get the same amount of money that we bought him for, which is 12 million. So I've just seen now, it's been reported that we're demanding 11 to 12 million for Kieran Trippier. For me, that is crazy. Unless there's players in the pipeline, behind the scenes that we don't know about, and we need that extra, 30 million to get them in. If that's not the case, then I don't see why I would sell Kieran Trippier to Bayern Munich, to be fair to you. Even if he wants to go, it's not in his court. We have to agree as a club, a fee with Bayern Munich, and if we don't have any replacements, strictly don't sell him. I get his age; he's 33 years old, and because of that, I would say, do you know what? Let's keep him for January, and then at the end of the season, let's see where we're at then, and then probably we can potentially agree a deal with someone, because obviously he's going to be turning 34 soon. So how many years does he really have at his top level, at his peak level? Some are saying that's past him. Some are saying, keep him because there's nobody else. But for me, I'd say he's still somebody that can give us or add quality to the team. He's on his day, he's been our best player. He's been one of our best players for the past 2 years. So in my initial thinking, I thought it would be something like 20 odd million, and we can make some profit from him, from the £12 million that we paid for him a couple of years ago. But it seems like we're demanding what we paid for him, and like I keep saying, if there's a player in the pipeline that we have in mind that we can bring in to replace him, that's of similar quality, then fine. Because obviously I'm happy with Livramento. I think he's made a decent start to his career at Newcastle, so I believe he's capable of slotting into Trippier's boots, and obviously slowly getting to that sort of level. But yeah, my stance is don't sell if you can't replace. So that's Trippier, but obviously Trippier's one is still ongoing. You know, there's mixed news in the media. Some say it's he's not for sale. Some say we're demanding 10 to 12 million pounds. So that one is a watch this space sort of one. So Kieran Trippier to Bayern Munich, I understand he's keen on the move. So you know, we just got to play our cards right. But for me, if we ain't got someone coming in again, don't sell him. And then so that's Trippier. Callum Wilson has been getting some interest from Atletico Madrid. Obviously, we've been on that Kieran Trippier played there. So Wilson also, I believe, was keen on the move. Again, obviously, Callum Wilson's been great for us, man. I believe he's our third highest scorer in the Premier League. You know, when he's fit and when he's firing, he knows how to find the back of the net. But he's just too unreliable, man. And, you know, we do have an aging squad. And I've said before, like, we might look to sell him because we can't trust him. And, you know, his injuries affects Isak because it means that Isak might have to play 90 minutes for 5 games in a row. And Isak himself is on physical struggles as well. So we need players that we can rely on. Trippier is one of them, and which is why I say with Trippier, no, for Trippier it has to make sense. With Wilson, also it has to make sense because we're not in the position to lose players. So even though he's injury prone and he misses a lot of games, we still have to replace people that we sell. So, but I've just seen that AC Milan are also in for him, but they're looking at other targets because they believe their attacking players are doing quite well. So for now, it looks like Callum Wilson is staying, but I believe if we were to get some money for him, around 15 million, 20 million pounds, and then we can get somebody in who has a good injury record, who's reliable, who can play number 2 to Isak, and is of similar quality. I don't know who because the market is tough right now, but I'm sure the club are doing their homework, and if we can bring in somebody of similar quality to Callum Wilson, younger, fitter, etc., then for me it makes sense because we need to at some point slowly churn out some players, but also we need to sell to buy. And Callum Wilson for me is the right criteria because you can't really rely on him. He's got a bad injury record, but also he's a great striker. So that could add more value to his price. But again, Atletico and AC Milan is looking like they wanted a loan move. And for me, if we're to lose anybody, it's going to be on a permanent basis. I don't understand anybody going from Newcastle United on a loan move. Maybe because the wages, etc. But no, we need revenue, money to come in. So Callum Wilson to AC Milan and Atletico for now it seems like it's not happening. He's not for sale. But like I said, I will be open to selling him as long as we can bring somebody else in of similar quality. And then today, the news have come up with in regards to Miguel Almiron. Almiron, he's had a good season last season. It's been quite frustrating for me this season, I must say. So he's not really quite hit his best heights so far this season. But there's been Saudi interest, similar to Saint-Maximin, to be fair, where we sold him to get revenue from for the Harvey Barnes deal. And so there's been a club in Saudi, Al Shabab. You know, there's interest from them to Almiron, and apparently he's keen on the move too. So it's mad, to be fair to you. It's crazy because I thought that the only target here is to bring players in, but it seems like obviously like we say, we've got to sell to buy. But yeah, it's crazy, man, how this is all unfolding. So Almiron's looking like a £17 million deal, so looking like £25 million euros. And for me, that's sort of, that might be less than what we got him for, because I recall we're getting him under Benitez and it was around the 20 million mark. Let me know in the comments, but I believe it was like 22 million. So it's quite less than what we got him for. But Almiron is somebody that we can rely on. Somebody who's hardly ever injured. He works hard. Yeah, he doesn't have the quality as much as other players in the final third, but you can trust him. So I'd be surprised if he were to go. To be fair to you, even though we need better players, of course. But I just had an idea, that we're not going to be selling players. We're going to be bringing in players, and then the players who were starting that now fall down the pecking order, they increase our squad depth, and the other sort of dead weights they leave, like the Paul Damets and the Emil Crafts, and like we've just sold Mankia now to Celta Vigo. So those sort of players, I thought were the ones that will be leaving, not our first 11 guys. But like I keep saying, Almiron, I'll be open to selling him as long as we can bring in an extra player. A player that's of decent quality, similar injury record to Almiron, who works hard, similar status, and then why not? To be fair to you, but like I keep saying, I don't like the sort of like for like business, because we need the depth, and we're with our current depth, we're already struggling. So, and we haven't even maximised or utilised the Saudi loan option, which for me is a surprise. I thought, with the Saudi League starting, I think February, March, we could be able to sort of bring some players over there on loan, maybe some maximum, bring him in again, whoever, use our Saudi connects to sort of find that loophole in FFP, and nothing's sort of materialised yet, and we're 22 days into the market being open. So, so it's a strange space that we're in, to be fair. There's a lot of interest in our players, rightly so, because obviously we finished in the top 4 last season, so a lot of clubs are looking at who they can get for us, because we've said we need to trade to buy. So, but I've seen Isak as well. I've seen Arsenal fans calling for Isak. I've seen Bruno Guimaraes linked with Real Madrid, PSG, Liverpool, because of that tasty £100 million release clause he has, which I don't agree with, because for me, if you're buying Caicedo for 120, if you're buying Enzo Fernandez for 105, 100 million for Bruno G, for me is pocket change, man. So, but it just shows you that this is the space that we're in, and it's not the same as when Man City first got taken over, or when it was Chelsea. This is a different day and age where we can't just be free spending. It's a different era now, and the owners are learning that themselves. So I hope they stay patient with the process. But it does buy Eddie Howe some time, because, for example, if Eddie Howe had spent in every window £300 million in every window on players, and there would have been more pressure on him. So this buys them time, to be fair to you, and but it just upsets the flow of the team, with players coming out and sort of coming in. So with key players too. So just to summarise, man, I'm open to selling players as long as we have good replacements, and as long as we get the right price for them. No loan deals, no cheap deals. For us, it has to make sense, and as long as we're bringing in players that are similar quality or better quality, then that's cool. And apparently, I heard that that we are looking to buying, or we're in deals with for certain players around 50 to 60 million mark. So but these deals, these small deals that we're doing, it helps us buy those sort of players at that price range. Apparently that's the rumor. I'm not too sure how true that is, but these deals enable us to go out there and buy the big name players, because it obviously balances out the books in a way. It shows that there's income coming in. Obviously, each club is allowed to lose £35 million a year, so there could be some loophole there where we're just trying to get some extra money to be able to spend freely. So these things are ever changing every single day. So we shall see, man. But not many incomings, or no incomings at all. No news in that. All the news is about the outgoing. So hopefully we make the right call, and the players are focused on the team and the games in hand or coming up next, because we've got a busy run of fixtures in the league, and obviously we sit 10th in the league, so we need our depth. So as long as we sell to buy and buy the right qualities, this is just the game we're in. So let me know your thoughts on this video. Let me know your thoughts on our transfer activity so far in this window. It's been non-existent, but I trust the board. I trust the club. I know that they know what's best for the club. So we shall see, man. Thank you for watching. It was a pleasure. It's your boy Big Augs. Make sure to like, to comment, and to subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. I'm out.